We're at Coffee and Friends Cafe in Okemos, Michigan. I'm Rebecca Hosford. I'm the lead barista and manager. And that's all I really got for you. We love Michigan products, and I try really hard to keep as many Michigan or United States products available in the shop. I really work hard to make sure that people aren't coming in every day and having to turn over the label and make sure it's made in America, it's made in the US, they shouldn't have to. Our coffee is made right here in Plymouth, Michigan. Our milk comes from Nashville, from Mooville. The only thing that really comes from out of area in our shop are our fair trade products like our jewelry and our purses and things like that, which we love the fact that they're fair trade and we're happy to support those people. Everything else is made right here, including the artwork on the walls, the cups. If you come in here and you get a latte or a cappuccino or anything like that, you are enjoying a pure Michigan moment without even trying. You supported the coffee shop, the milk company, the cup company, and right here, without even trying, you were part of helping get America back on their feet, or Michigan back on their feet, which is an awesome thing, and I love that we were able to do that. So instead of the money just going off, and we hope it makes it, we hope that the cows are being taken care of and the coffee people are being taken, no, we know that they are. And it's more than just, the coffee plantations and things like that, but people right here in Michigan, Dart is a wonderful company that provides a lot of jobs for people, and I love that we're ordering that every week, so that's just more that we're doing. And they recycle their styrofoam, which is awesome too. So they've got this whole avenue of recycling their products too. We're one of the few places that encourage people to buy green beans and roast them at home themselves, which you can actually do in a popcorn popper, and people don't even realize that. So you could come in, pick out beans, and roast them right at home every morning, which is just a great hobby. I took classes all through college and I worked at coffee shops to pay my tuition, which is fun because I actually worked in my field for 2 years. And then I retired because you know what, the adult life sucks and I just want to hang out and make coffee. And fortunately I get to do that for a living now. We spend a lot of time hanging out here, testing out recipes. I always encourage the staff, if they can come up with like an awesome recipe to compete in the competition or simply just put on the board for customers to enjoy. That's one of the things I love about coffee, is if you were to go into like a wine shop right now, heat up your wine, toss a couple sugars of packets in it and put some whipped cream on it, people would probably throw you out. They would flip out. But coffee can be anything you want it to be. It can be a dessert, it can be straight, it can be shots of espresso, it can be pompous in a little cup with your little finger in the air. It's just what you want it to be. And I love the fact that this is the most Americans you can get. During the Boston Tea Party, when people were throwing tea into the river saying, we're not gonna be part of them anymore, they became a coffee drinking nation. So coming to a coffee shop, drinking coffee is like one of the most American things you can do right now. I'm gonna make the Dutch Treat, which is our signature our signature drink that we won at the second place at the Throwdown in Motown competition. It's always on the board and always available, and it was actually designed by a customer and named after their dog. They come in at least once a day and get 2 of them. And it's actually so popular that we keep it as a premix. It's German chocolate cake, Irish cream, and a dark chocolate. And I pulled 2 shots of espresso. We use a Portofino, which is an Italian blend, for our espresso, which actually is not espresso grade, but it's got a really great taste, and it's different from all the coffee shops around us that do use espresso grade. But we use 4 different kinds of milk, is always available here. Rice milk, soy milk, skim milk, and cream line milk. We use a local dairy that does not homogenize their milk. And this gets drier cappuccino foam. We actually have people who come from 20, 30 miles to get our coffee for special occasions and things like that, which is always fun. Especially in the summertime when people can go out on their motorcycles. So we seem to be the stopping point for a lot of people's trips. We steam our milk to 140 degrees so that we're staying away from the scorch point for milk, because we don't like burnt milk here. Amy, do you want whipped cream on this one? Okay. We're also very particular at our coffee shop. You'll never see us, there you are, honey. 1 German chocolate, 1 Dutch treat. You want whipped cream on it? Totally. We make our own whipped cream so that we could have our own recipe for it. Not so much that we wanted a private recipe, as that we wanted to be able to pick and select our own ingredients for our whipped cream. So we don't have any high fructose corn syrup, we don't have any preservatives, it's just whipped cream. So one of the common mistakes you'll see at other coffee shops is they'll turn the milk on and they'll leave it there. And actually that's not rotating the milk, it's just heating it up. So it's actually damaging the milk itself, and it's making a subpar product, which we do not like to do. We like to actually, you're affecting the milk on a molecular level. You're allowing it to roll and aerate, so you're actually stretching out the molecules. You're not just making them bounce faster, which is important. And one of the reasons why we do use the creamline milk is so that the fat in the milk has not been damaged or altered in any way, so we can get a better product. So we're gonna let that go to 140. And a little flour on top. Everybody likes a little latte art. We also do loose leaf and bag tea, because the best way to do a tea of any kind is a loose leaf. A lot of people don't realize it, but a bag is designed for tea to function properly, number one. So it doesn't always allow the leaves to fully open up and let out the bouquet of flavor that is in the tea. So loose leaf allows the tea to do exactly what it was designed to do, which is rehydrate itself in water. So we really encourage customers to use any of our French presses. And we actually have more customers that once they realized how much better tea was in a loose leaf form, they immediately started coming and getting it. We also do, any of the independent soda companies. We don't try to encourage the bigger ones because, well, why bother? So we have like Bob Marley's, and we have Armor All, which is a cool gluten-free one. We're also the only coffee shop in this area that uses Da Vinci syrups, which I've always found interesting, because Da Vinci is actually the only coffee line that was designed specifically for coffee, which is one of the reasons we also have so many flavors. And we also add them to our cheesecakes when we're baking, so that they get really fun flavors. I like to use them during the holidays in our pumpkin rolls and add them to the cream cheese fillings. You can go out and you can go to, any of the, there's actually 5 different coffee shops within walking distance of us, easily. And, you can make the choice to go there, absolutely. And you're supporting products that were made out of country, nobody really knows. They might be fair trade, they might not be. There's a lot of other avenues that I cut out of the mix because I didn't want to be a part of that. We wanted to be the small, independent, local coffee shop. And I've actually had customers come in and ask me about, well, why don't you franchise? And you could open one in East Lansing, you could. No, we don't really want to do that, because once we start to do that, then we start to lose our connection to the customers. I could easily sit back at my desk and do paperwork and be like, I don't know, I think everything's okay. No, I would rather be out here every day visiting with the customers, making the drinks, and being a part of this community. I love the fact that we have people come in and are like, hey, I want to put a sign up for so-and-so dance recital. And they go up on the boards, no problem. We closed down our kitchen for an entire day and funded the Hazlitt Lacrosse breakfast. So we had the coaches come in, we had the kids come in and wait the tables. We had just this awesome family moment in the community of Okemos and Hazlitt. This is not just our customer base or our clientele. This is an extension of our family. We have customers come in here every day that this is their home office. My daughters come in every Saturday night and just hang out with the other people who bring their kids in to hang out. So every Saturday night we have live music. We always have rotating out artwork that's local artists. It's not just, random Joe Schmo came in with their corporate portfolio. No. These are people, these are moms that work in the area, or these are grandparents who are retired and decided to take up watercolor to express themselves. The same thing with our knitting club on Tuesday. These are just ladies who come in and want to hang out and be part of the community and sit and knit with each other and give each other advice on how to, pick up a drop stitch or, how to do a cable. And, we've had people come in and just hang out and learn how to knit, just visiting with us. And we have so many things that make us different from the other shops because our goal isn't to get people in and out. We're willing to stop and listen, and that was actually how we started carrying rice milk, because we had a customer come in and she said, I have 3 boys and they are all allergic to soy milk and cow's milk, and I just want to be able to go out and get them a hot chocolate. And I am a firm believer, yes, every little kid should be able to go out and get a hot chocolate, even if they're allergic to rice milk and dairy. So we cleaned the line and we sanitized everything, and we grabbed our rice milk, which we carry now every day just in case they stop in, and any other customers who want to, because every little kid should be able to come in and be a part of this. And especially for parents who are terrified about allergies, which is one of the reasons why we added the gluten-free line, is we had so many customers coming in and peering over the cases and going, what won't make me sick? And that's not anything I want my customers to experience. I want them to just be able to come in and go, I can have all this stuff. Look at all this stuff. And we have so many people who walk out with their little goodie bags with muffins and cakes and cookies, and you can just tell that they're just so excited that they got this moment. They got a moment to be normal, which is just, I think everybody should have that every time they come in here. We're not pompous coffee drinkers unless you want us to be, and then we're happy to be. But otherwise, we're just people hanging out and drinking coffee too.
Does this place have good treats for kids?
Yes.
Yeah. What's your favorite?
I like the Buckeyes. She likes
hot chocolate.
Yeah, she likes the hot chocolate and the chocolate covered pretzels.
What are these things here?
Chocolate covered plastic spoons. They both have sprinkles, but this one doesn't have a lot. It looks like it doesn't have a lot of sprinkles, but it actually does.
What can you do with them?
Eat them.
Eat them? Can you put them in your drink and stir them up too?
Yeah. Like if you have a hot cocoa and you like it really chocolatey, you could grab the one without a marshmallow, and you could stir your hot cocoa.
Cool. Are those cold or are they regular temperature?
Cold.
Ooh. So, but they're tasty even if you don't have a drink. You like to snack on them, huh?
Mm-hmm.
They're good, huh? Whoa, that didn't last long.
Well, I came here because I don't particularly like sort of the chain coffee shops. I've always sort of worked in small business environments. Even when I was in high school, I did. It sort of made me sensitive to sort of big chains, and so I would come here for coffee all the time, and they just liked me, so I think they invented a position. So.
People that come here tend to be, lots of people who are just regulars. It's just a warm, inviting environment. The chains all seem like they're cookie cutter. You walk in, they're exactly the same. It doesn't change. Whereas even here in coffee rooms, art changes monthly. The products change. Every day there's a different coffee. Multiple different outlets. And I like knowing that the food is not pre-processed somewhere else. It's made right here on site, and that it's made with good, healthy ingredients. That it's very flavorful food. It's not just something that comes out of the box.
Hi, I'm Polly with Sweet Polly's Purebreds and Desserts, and I wanted to make my banana nut muffins for you today and show you how I do things with my gluten-free baking. To start with, I'm going to begin with my all-purpose blend. With gluten-free baking, because you can't use wheat flour, you're going to be using a blend of flours to produce the same results as you would with wheat flour. My blend today consists of rice flour, potato flour, and tapioca starch. So we start out with that in the bowl. And then of course, no baking is complete without sugar. So we're gonna add our sugar. We also have our baking soda and our baking powder that we need to add. It's almost like regular baking until you get to this point where we're going to be adding xanthan gum. Xanthan gum is a corn-based product which helps to add structure to the batter and will allow it to puff up and have the little air pockets that we're looking for a nice soft muffin. And once we get all of the dry ingredients together, we're going to blend those in the mixer for approximately 2 minutes on low. You know, because it's all dry products, you don't want to turn the mixer on too high, otherwise you're going to be throwing flour all over. But it's very important to incorporate all of those ingredients together before you add the liquid to it. Otherwise you might end up with all of the xanthan gum in one part of the batter and not dispersed throughout. Okay, now that we have our dry ingredients incorporated together, we're going to give it a little stir, and then we're going to start adding our wet ingredients. We're going to start out with the bananas, of course. You can never have enough bananas in your banana nut muffins as far as I'm concerned. Once you have that, we're going to add our oil. And then we also want to add our milk. And then finally, we're going to add our eggs. And I'm going to crack them into a separate container first, simply because I don't want to accidentally put any eggshell into our batter, which, you know, even the best of us have to deal with digging eggshells out sometimes. So for safety purposes, I crack them into a separate container and then I add them into the bowl. And then today I'm using pecans in my banana nut muffins. I also use walnuts, so whatever kind of nut you care for is fine. And I'm going to save a little bit of those to sprinkle on top to add a little bit of garnish to the top of the muffins when they go into the batter. Now the nice thing about muffin mix is you don't really want it to mix too long. You want it to kind of be a lumpy batter. It's not as smooth as you would with a cake batter. You want a little bit of the lumps in there. That's what adds to the texture in the muffin. And right now I'm just spinning the mixer in there to make sure that I don't have anything stuck to the bottom, because there's nothing worse than getting to the bottom of your bowl and finding flour that you wanted to have incorporated. So I just do a quick mix of that. And then I have my muffin pans. I like big muffins, so I'm using the large muffin pans. And I take a 4-ounce ice cream scoop. It's the perfect size for filling those muffins. And it helps me to portion them out so that they come out relatively the same size. That way you're not wondering how much you need to put in each cup. I greased the muffin tins with canola oil. It's the same type of oil that I used in making the muffins, and that way I find it doesn't change the flavor of the muffin at all. And then once we have those portioned out, all we have to do is sprinkle on some additional pecans to add the color to the top of the muffin, and we can pop those into the oven for about 18 minutes. And I always like to check my muffins with a toothpick. I stick it in. If it comes out clean, I know that the inside has cooked all the way. The muffins have been a great seller here at Coffee and Friends. They go perfect with the coffee, and you can come in and ask them to warm it up in the microwave for a couple seconds, and it turns out to be a perfect complement to your coffee. And there you have it. We've got them in the oven for 18 to 20 minutes. And like I said, at the end of it, I'm going to take my toothpick and stick it in and make sure that the toothpick comes out clean. And that way we'll know that they're cooked all the way. Customers that have been coming in here at Coffee and Friends have been very receptive to my products and have enjoyed them. And you know, and some of them don't even eat gluten-free. They just like what I bake, whether it's gluten-free or not, and they're still more than willing to buy what I produce, and that's the biggest thing for me, because my logo is gluten-free indulgence for everyone. You don't have to be strictly gluten-free to eat my products. I would eat my products, and I don't have to eat gluten-free. But there's not a product that I sell that I don't eat myself, and that's the way I think it should be. If I find it's good, I believe that it can be sold, and then I also test it through a lot of students on MSU's campus. I have a daughter who's at MSU, and when I make something new, I'll call her up and say, okay, invite everyone over, we're gonna do a tasting, and usually that's a good indicator of whether something's really gonna go or not. If I can get the college kids to eat it, I think that it's pretty good. 2 years ago, I started at LCC. When I decided to start my bakery business, I decided to go through their entrepreneurship program. And one of the first classes that I took was starting a small business. And in that class, the instructor really made you focus on what you wanted to do. And at first I thought, well, I'll do a bakery and I'll do gluten-free. And then I started studying about gluten-free and learned that the chances of cross-contamination are so strong that you really have to be careful with that. So at that point, I took a look at, does Lansing need another bakery, or does Lansing need a gluten-free bakery? And everything pointed to needed a gluten-free bakery. So that's why I chose to bake gluten-free and stay with that strictly as a business, and so far it's been great. The response of everyone when they walk up to my booths in the farmers market and walk up to the case out there at Coffee and Friends and look inside of it and say, I can eat anything that's in that case. They're not used to having those kind of choices. It's fresh, it's local products for what I can get. I grind my own flours fresh. I really try to make it as healthy as I can, but yet at the same time it's a bakery product. So there's going to be the sugars and the other things that take it a little bit over into the indulgent side, which is what they want to do. They want to be able to have the opportunity to indulge on a whim, which they don't normally have. I've actually been thinking about doing it through some of the community ed programs offering gluten-free cooking, and just educating people about gluten-free at the same time, and understanding what the different products do, because there's things that you have to keep on your shelf to bake gluten-free that most people haven't even heard of, like guar gum or xanthan gum. It's like, what's that? Why do I have to put that in there? And they'll think, oh, it doesn't have to be in there, and they'll bake it and it won't come out right, because it's the xanthan or the guar that's actually doing what the gluten does in the wheat product for you. So it actually does have to be in there. But to go into a store and see that it's $11.95 for a bag of xanthan gum can kind of discourage people from actually baking gluten-free. And so I'd like to be able to help them overcome those fears and show them that it's not as hard as you would think it is, and that a bag of xanthan gum really does go a long way in baking. If you're not baking the quantities I'm baking. I use quite a bit of it, but if you're just going to bake occasionally, it goes a long way. My products, I don't use any preservatives in them, so the shelf life on them, it's not too bad. It's usually about 7 days, but in longer if you freeze it. Of course, you can get 3 to 4 weeks out of it frozen, but I prefer things to be fresh. I mean, again, it's one of those things where there's a lot of frozen products out there, but there aren't any fresh products where somebody who needs to eat gluten-free can just say, wow, I want this today, and go in and pick it up fresh. They don't have to take it home, thaw it, or do anything to it. It's just like, I can go in, have a cup of coffee and a muffin, and I'm good to go. You can satisfy that urge now, not 2 hours from now. Everything that's in the gluten-free case, I do. Coffee and Friends does have a couple of items that they make that are also gluten-free. And then I have an additional menu that is online at my website at www.sweetpollyspurebreads.com. And you can actually go up there and see my full menu there, and any of that can be ordered, special ordered, by calling me. And even if it's not in the case, you can order it and come here to Coffee and Friends and enjoy it. I'm more than willing to to make anything. And unfortunately, we just can't make everything and put it out there in that case for Coffee and Friends. I like to have at least 48 hours. There's some things I can do on the fly, but especially the cakes that I need 48 hours for. But that's not too bad of a lead time. And I do deliver, to the whole Lansing area, so that's available, as well as picking them up here at the store. I'm available on Facebook, and I also tweet, so you can also follow me on Twitter, and I try to let you know on a daily basis what I'm baking. I normally bake on Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Sundays, so if you're coming in that next morning, you're getting the freshest product possible. But yeah, we keep up there, and then I also have a newsletter. If you'd like to sign up for Sweet Polly's newsletter, you can do that on my website also.